Studies have indicated that contaminated seed is the likely source of most sprout-related outbreaks. Seed may become contaminated by potential routes of fecal contamination in the field, such as contaminated water, inadequately treated or raw manure as fertilizer, contamination from wild or domesticated animals, or inadequate worker hygiene. Localized contamination may be further spread throughout the harvested seed lot during conditioning or processing. Seeds for sprouting should be grown under good agricultural practices to minimize the likelihood that they will carry pathogenic bacteria. Pathogenic bacteria, when present on seeds, can multiply and reach high numbers under the warm, moist conditions used to produce sprouts. Measures need to be put in place to prevent the use of contaminated seeds. Sprout growers must complete a visual examination of seeds or beans and their packaging for signs of potential contamination, such as water stains, damaged bags, and rodent stains. This visual examination should be done upon receipt of the seeds or beans, as well as before using seeds or beans that have been held in storage. Seed treatment is a critical part of the multi-hurdle approach to reduce the public health risks associated with sprouts. The FDA Produce Safety Rule requires sprout growers to use a scientifically valid seed treatment method to reduce pathogens on seed. The term scientifically valid means an approach that is based on scientific information, data, or results published in, for example, scientific journals, references, textbooks, or proprietary research. It is the sprout grower's responsibility to ensure that seed intended for sprouting are treated prior to sprouting. It is recommended that sprout growers develop a written seed treatment standard operating procedure, also known as SOP. Having an SOP can help ensure that treatments are applied consistently and correctly. It is helpful to have information or data supporting the scientific validity of the treatment available for inspectors or auditors as evidence that the treatment complies with the requirements in the Produce Safety Rule, government standards, and any third-party specifications. In this video, we will demonstrate how chemical seed treatments may be conducted. Chemical treatments are just one of the many options for seed treatment. Physical treatments such as heat or hot water and treatments that combine physical and chemical steps are also effective to reduce pathogens on seed. Seed bags should be inspected again for signs of contamination before bringing them into a seed treatment area. Seed treatment should be conducted in a well-ventilated and sanitary area, separate from seed and chemical storage areas, and away from germination and packing activities. All employees who handle seed treatment chemicals should be trained in their proper use and safe handling. Only workers who wear the personal protective equipment, known as PPE, recommended by the chemical manufacturer, should be in the area where the chemical is prepared and applied. Directions for use as stated on the chemical label should be followed for safety and regulatory compliance. Before treating any batch of seeds, all tools and equipment that may contact seeds must be thoroughly cleaned and sanitized. The containers should be large enough to allow thorough mixing of seeds to make sure all the seeds fully contact the seed treatment chemical for the appropriate amount of time. Water used for rinsing seeds and for making seed treatment solutions must meet the microbial quality criteria for agricultural water specified in the Produce Safety Rule, which for sprout operations is no detectable E. coli in every 100 milliliters of water. To maximize efficacy, some seed treatment methods specify a pre-treatment rinse of seeds to remove organic matter or dirt. The pre-rinsing steps may include pouring seeds from a seed bag into a previously clean and sanitized container with a sufficient volume of agricultural water. Stir or agitate the seeds to ensure all seeds are wetted, and continue for a specified period of time per label instruction. Skim damaged seeds and debris that float to the surface with a clean and sanitary utensil. Drain the water. Rinse seeds with additional water per label instructions, or until the wash water drains clear. When preparing chemical seed treatment solution, it is important that the solution is at the appropriate concentration. Always follow label instructions. General steps for preparing a chemical solution are: Determine the volume of treatment solution needed based on the amount of beans or seeds to be treated per label instructions. Calculate the amount of chemical needed to reach the desired concentration. Measure the required amount of chemical. Add the chemical into a container that contains the appropriate amount of agricultural water. Stir solution to ensure it is well mixed and all solids are dissolved. Verify concentration of treatment solution immediately prior to treatment using test strips or kits. If the chemical solution is too concentrated, it should be diluted to an appropriate concentration for testing. Carefully combine the chemical solution with the seeds. Mix the seeds for the time specified by the chemical manufacturer or scientific literature. For example, 20 minutes with continuous agitation. Drain the solution when the process is complete. The treated seeds should be rinsed according to label instructions or until the treatment chemical is completely removed. To rinse the seeds, agricultural water is added to the container in sufficient volume to ensure full immersion of the seeds. After treatment, seeds should be protected to prevent contamination. The treated seeds may also be rinsed under running water. Sprout growers should follow disposal procedures specific to the chemical used for seed treatment per label instructions. Federal, state, and local regulations on chemical discharge should be followed. Do not dispose of higher than approved levels of chemicals into storm drains, streams, or rivers to minimize the impact on aquatic life. Used seed treatment solutions may need to be diluted and its concentration checked before disposal. To meet the seed treatment requirement of the Produce Safety Rule, sprout growers must either treat the seeds that will be used to grow sprouts at their operation or choose to rely on prior treatments of seeds conducted by another entity, for example, the seed supplier. Sprout growers may also choose to purchase pre-treated seeds and retreat them prior to sprouting. If sprout growers choose to rely in whole or part on using pre-treated seeds, they must obtain documentation from the seed supplier, stating that the treatment was conducted using a scientifically valid method to reduce pathogens, and that the treated seeds were handled and packaged in a manner that minimized the potential for contamination. Pre-treated seeds should be stored at a clean and dry place, separate from untreated seed. Sprout growers are required to establish and keep documentation of their treatment of seeds or beans, or alternatively, documentation such as certificate of conformance that indicates that seeds were previously treated according to the Produce Safety Rule requirements. To ensure seed treatments are consistently applied correctly, sprout growers should also develop a written seed treatment standard operating procedure, also known as SOP. Seed treatment log records must include the actual values and observations obtained from monitoring the treatment, for example, related to the time and temperature, chemical composition and concentration, equipment used, pH, and information about mixing or agitation. These records must also include information about your operation, type and lot number of the seed, and the date and time of the treatment. It's also required that the seed treatment log records are created at the time the activity is documented, not before or afterward. The records must be signed by operator and reviewer. Sprout growers should be able to identify which lot of seed was used to produce a batch of sprouts in case a positive test result is found from spent sprout irrigation water or in-process sprout sampling, and the required corrective actions are needed. In other words, discontinuing use of the implicated lot of seed and reporting the findings to the seed supplier. In summary, effective seed treatment that is consistently applied prior to sprouting helps to reduce the risk of seed being a source of contamination of sprout products and can reduce the number of batches of sprouts that are contaminated and must be discarded.